Formula E is back and we have returned to Monaco. This weekend our drivers will take on the most famous street circuit on the planet, and there is all to play for. So let's take a look at what to watch out for. So far this season we've seen 8 different winners from 8 races. Will this weekend see the streak broken and see a driver return to the top spot of the podium? First things first, to look forward, we need to look back, and in both of Formula E's previous visits here, Sébastien Buemi has been the master of Monaco. Not only has he won both races, he's won both races from pole position, which means he can now the race and he can now qualifying. But having said that, even with his impressive qualifying this season, making 6 out of 8 super poles and starting 2 races from the front of the grid, Sébastien is yet to win a race.
Buemi has trouble. Both Nissans, having locked out the front row, are not going to win in Paris.
So could this be the turning point in his season? Could he continue the streak? And will history repeat itself and see Buemi take the win once again in Monaco?
Sébastien Buemi receives his trophy from Prince Albert.
If one thing's for sure, he's certainly not short of competitors. In both race wins here, Buemi has had to deal with a battling Lucas de Grassi, who's finished second on both occasions. Now thinking about this season, so far Lucas de Grassi has managed to bag himself more points than Sébastien. He sits 4th in the standings, with Seb sitting 13th. So if recent races are anything to go by, this could be the time that Lucas de Grassi gets his first Monaco E-Prix win. But the competition doesn't stop there. There are plenty of drivers on the Formula E grid that have their fair share of racing experience here in other motorsports. People like rookie Felipe Massa and other rookies Stoffel Vandoorne and Pascal Wehrlein, who've both been qualifying extremely well this season and both have podiums. Something to think about. Last time Pascal Wehrlein raced on a track that he was familiar with was in Mexico City, where he started the race on pole position and only lost out on the win in the final lap.
Here comes Wehrlein out of the final corner. It's 0. De Grassi wins.
But we can make predictions all we want, because if this season has taught us anything, it's that Formula E is more unpredictable than ever, and it really is anybody's race to win. It's a home race for the Venturi Formula E team, with drivers Felipe Massa and Eduardo Mortara looking to score big and get themselves back on the podium since their last time and win in Hong Kong. 5th is the best finish of Venturi here, but if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that Felipe Massa is not shy of a podium in Monaco, or a race incident for that matter. So he, Eduardo and the team will be looking to score big here this weekend and remind us that they mean business this season. So one of the benefits of having a one-day race event is that you get all of the action of qualifying and the race on the same day. And with the qualifying setup in Formula E, there has been plenty of action.
Come on.
So far this season, we've only seen one winner from pole position, as qualifying groups spice up the competition. The way it works is that the drivers at the top of the championship go out in the earlier groups onto a cold, dirtier circuit, where drivers lower down in the championship go out in the later groups and are able to squeeze just a few more tenths out of the circuit, making qualifying more competitive than ever. It's important to remember when Formula E travels to familiar circuits in motorsport that Formula E is a completely different beast. Different technology, different setup, rules, regulations, and not to mention driving a Formula E car is unlike anything else. Now that was summed up pretty perfectly by André Lotterer, 3 times Le Mans winner and DS de Cheetah driver, when he said that a Formula E car was the most difficult car to drive after the Paris E-Prix.
You might believe it or not, but Formula E is the most difficult thing to drive, even in the dry. In racing other categories, going at 350 at Le Mans, it's all pretty easy with downforce and everything. So here you pray for your life every time you run a race, and but it's a really challenging game.
So if you're new to Formula E, bear in mind that although the streets may look the same, the racing could not be more different. An example of something that makes Formula E so unique is attack mode. This season it has been mixing things up a treat and has played a huge part in the positions and the points scored by the drivers.
Roland's going for attack mode. Can he hold the position? Oh, no, he's made a mistake! And through goes de Grassi into second place. It slips away from Oliver Rowland.
Once again, the drivers will have to drive offline through the activation zone to activate the extra power mode, the strategy of which has never been more crucial with the championship this time. We've got both Formula E veterans on one side and rookies on the other, still getting it wrong sometimes. So keep an eye out during the race for when they use attack mode and why, because it can make a huge difference. So that's what we're going to be looking out for, but what do you think? Who will take the win here in Monaco? Surely the streak can't continue. Surely we can't see a 9th different winner in 9 races. And if not, who will be the driver to break the streak? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.